Hi, this is Dr. Annette Cargioli, and I am interviewing EPT practitioner Penny Langley today. Hi, Penny.
Hi, Annette.
I'm so glad you could come. The first question I have for you today is, when did you take your first emotional polarity technique training?
It was actually 7 years ago this month in 2008. And since then, I've taken core training 3 times, advanced 4 times, and have attended numerous life works at least once or twice a year.
What made you decide to take EPT training?
Why I had initially, I didn't have any plans to go into EPT as a business directly. I worked as a finance director in a large global pharmaceutical company, and I was responsible for implementation of huge global projects. Given the large number of people that worked on the projects, I saw an opportunity to use EPT on both the projects directly and on my team members. So I actually used EPT to knock down energetic barriers that we were encountering so that we could move forward more quickly and successfully. And then after 5 years of practicing it in my daily life in the corporate world, I retired from the company and started my own EPT practice.
So what other healing tools do you use? I know that you've taken all the EPT trainings and that you're really good at it, but I also know that you do other healing modalities, and you've taken some other trainings as well. You want to talk about that?
Yes, I'm a meditation coach. I am a business coach for new business startups, and I practice a couple of different hands-on healing techniques, including tapping and quantum touch.
So tell me a little bit about your practice, where you're located, and what you do and what you offer at your practice.
Okay, my business is called Healing Garden Studio One, and the Healing Gardens acknowledges that within each one of us there's an inner garden that, when planted, weeded, nourished, and loved, beautifully blossoms into whom we were meant to be. And so the garden in the title of my business is actually you. I focus on empowering clients to bring about personal success in their business success. And I actually use a 3-step regimen, which I call Design It, Align It, and Achieve It. So in the first stage, Design It, the client sets goals to identify what they're trying to achieve in their life and in their business. And then we use EPT at that stage to allow the client to see beyond where they are today and to dream bigger. The second phase, which is Align It, is where the client then aligns energetically with the success of achieving their goals. So here we use EPT to knock down any barriers or limiting beliefs that stand between them and their success. And then the final step is Achieve It, which is where the clients practice self-help techniques that allow them to advance on their own path with or without periodic EPT sessions. So it allows them to stay in balance with mind, body, and spirit in their daily life. And there we use techniques that include meditation, tapping, affirmations, and then strengthening those psychic connections.
So basically,
people get appointments with me. I actually have an online scheduler, so going onto my website and click the button that says schedule an appointment. And I'm located in Indianapolis, Indiana.
So basically you put them through, you have a very specific program that helps them to move from something they've decided they want to create, from where they are to something they want to create, and you walk them through that process in this 3-step program.
Yes, and often they are the ones who are deciding. Sometimes it's decided for them. So by focusing on the empowerment side, my clients tend to fall into 2 categories. The first are those professionals that are on the verge of making major life changes, such as a job change, change in marital status, launching a new business, etc. And they are making decisions to move forward. My other specialty, though, is cancer clients, and in some cases that particular client group, the decision is made for them. So when you have that disease, that diagnosis, the doctors, the reactions of family and friends, of your employers, they take away the client's power. And so in that situation, we work together to reclaim the client's power so that they can call up that healing power from within themselves and get better.
So when you're working with, so what I'm hearing here is that you do have there's a certain population within your practice of people who come to you who are actually already diagnosed with cancer, and that you are kind of doing the emotional support and the kind of a transforming type of therapy with them to help them while they're in their cancer treatment. So I know you've done this for many people, and I'm wondering the outcomes. What kind of outcomes do you see with people with cancer?
Well, I've been in practice for 2 years, and the one thing about this particular diagnosis, meaning cancer, is that you need to be cancer-free for 5 years before the medical community sees you as cured. So my clients have seen amazing success, and I have them tick that box that says I am cured, and then we'll let the medical community catch up later.
Do you also do some of this work with the family members of people who, who are helping their family members who have cancer?
Yes, caregivers, it's really interesting because a lot of times the emphasis seems to need to be on the cancer patients themselves. But what I've discovered in my practice is that if you can focus on the support network for the cancer client, that the cancer client gets better faster, because they tend to worry as much about those who are caring for them, even more so really than they care about or worry about their own condition. So it's really, putting a healthy emotional boundary around their entire healing journey.
How do you explain emotional polarity technique to these sorts of clients who really are enmeshed in medical care in terms of cancer and actually, and also the support that they may be giving to the family member? How do you explain what is EPT to these people?
Okay, so first of all, I share with them that because I present my programs as being complementary and not an alternative. So I have them combine my programs with some of their traditional medical treatments. So they have the best that technology has to offer. They have the best doctors, the best hospital care, the best diagnostic equipment, etc. And so I encourage them to call up that power within themselves to complement what medicine has to offer them. And then by pulling up that confidence and power within themselves, they do get better faster. I can't make medical claims. I'm not an MD, mind you, but that's my observation. So in terms of what I describe to them, I really focus on empowerment. So using the power within to bring about faster and complete healing.
So it changes basically in their inner world, which is that power within that you're building up. That would be your description of EPT, that it's just empowering the inner world?
Well, I actually then describe EPT as the technique for quickly identifying and releasing the underlying issues that stand in their way. So the power exists within. The question is are they able to call it up? Do they have blocks? And that we use EPT to find it, fix it, and forgive it.
Awesome. What are the three top reasons you would tell somebody that EPT would be great for?
So now I'm not focusing on my specific client base at this point, but when I meet people and promote EPT, whether it's my specialty or not, if I find anytime someone is afraid, if you feel fear or hesitation, fear-based decisions undermine the joy everywhere in your life. and you should experience joy in your life every single day. Fear will sabotage your ability to move forward. So anytime you feel that hesitation, which a lot of times you get here in the center of your chest, or you hear the voices that say, I can't, I'm afraid, they need EPT. go straight to EPT. The second top reason that I would send people to EPT is anytime they're trying to make a big change. So if they're pursuing marriage, divorce, pregnancy, a job change, a career change, retirement, a move to a new city, no matter what type of change it is, if you start to feel a hesitation or start hearing yourself having the yes but conversation, like yes but another marriage could be even worse, yes but what if I run out of money, if you're feeling that hesitation or hearing that voice, then you need EPT, or I recommend EPT, to find the source of that hesitation and get rid of it, because it will just stand in your way of greater things. And then the third top reason to use EPT is if you are already a practitioner, you need to recognize that as practitioners we all have different strengths, and I have a network of practitioners which act both as my accountability group personally and for my business, and we actually actively do EPT on each other to clear blocks regularly. So it just keeps all of us on track and moving forward.
Penny, what is your most mind-blowing experience with EPT, either personally or with a client?
Well, my most amazing experience was at LifeWorks when I used EPT to launch my business model. I don't know if you remember this or not, but a few years before I actually launched the business, I had this piece of paper and I had this plan laid out on it, and brought it to LifeWorks, and other practitioners helped me remove blocks to my customers, to my services, helped me remove personal barriers so that my business could move from paper, from the paper it was drawn on, to the reality that it is today.
How has EPT changed your life for good?
I practice EPT on myself regularly, and like I said, I have others do the same. And I believe that by keeping my energy fields clear, it allows me to live in joy every day. I'm successful, my life is abundant, and it just keeps getting better and better.
Tell me about your family, Penny.
I'm married with 3 children. My husband's name is Michael. My oldest son is studying at DePaul University in the field of computer science, psychology, and biology. My middle son is in high school, and he's heading towards a degree in computer engineering. He's starting his senior year in high school this year, and so he will be heading towards the university programs in the fall of next year. And my daughter is going into 6th grade, and she's a competitive gymnast.
So how has EPT affected your family relationships, or has it in any way?
Oh yeah, like I said, I use EPT on self first, and I use it on everything in our family relationships. It has freed up our relationships with each other. It has freed up our relationship for financial success. It's freed up our ability to live in abundance. I've even used it to help free up the acceptance into colleges of my kids' choice. There's really nothing I don't use it for. And most recently, I've used EPT to clear the way for my dream home, which we just broke ground on, and it's being built in the mountains of North Carolina.
What would you say to someone who's considering using EPT, or even going to someone who does EPT, but they're not sure if they should? What would you say to that person?
Well, if someone is considering starting EPT, I always recommend start with self. It's hard to show up in confidence with clients or as a practitioner or even as someone recommending it when your own life is broken. So show up, learn it, use the technique on yourself to make improvements in your own life. And then once you see the success in your immediate surroundings, you'll then see opportunities to reach out and help others, whether that's a recommendation to send them to a practitioner or whether it's a recommendation for you to become a practitioner. But once you get to that point, go for it and don't look back.
You talked a little bit about that you have your dream home and you're going to be moving from Indiana to North Carolina. So how is your healing business, how is that going to impact that? Do you have any idea how you're going to transition in that?
Well, about 20% of my client base is actually remote anyway, so we manage the work over the phone. So I think that part will transition easily, and then really it's about starting over.
Oh, that's incredible. Well, I'm asking that question because I just don't want the world, I don't want you to retire. I don't want the world to lose you as a healer. I just want to know she's still there. She's still doing this work and helping people to better their lives and you know, just be happier and be able to give back to the rest of the world in a meaningful way.
Well, and that's what it's all about. I mean, like I said, I used EPT to create the opportunity to live in that dream space on the top of the mountain. And I will use EPT to help me design what that future looks like for my business.
It's definitely a tool for your whole life. There's no place, I think, where you stop viewing the world through this lens of emotional polarity technique and the identifying those blocks and finding out what's the real issue under the thing that I'm struggling with and how do I release it so I can get on with loving the people that mean the most to me. And I thank you so much for this interview, and thank you for being a part of my leadership council, helping with the Business Works training at the beach. You are awesome. I am so grateful for you. Thank you again, Penny.
Thank you, Annette.
Okay, and bye-bye.
Bye.